As I look back at my steps, I realize that the reality I live in is not just a sequence of events independent of me. It is, to a great extent, an inner construction shaped by the way I think, feel, and choose to react. I create my reality in every moment, even when I believe I have no control. I now understand that I cannot control everything that happens to me, but I can control the meaning I give to my experiences. Every morning when I wake up, my reality begins with my first thought. If I choose to get out of bed with fear, dissatisfaction, or haste, the day takes on that color. If instead, I choose to breathe deeply and see the day as a possibility, things settle differently. Not because the world suddenly changes, but because I change. And when I change, the way I perceive the world transforms. I have noticed that my mind is like a lens. Through it, I see people, situations, and myself. If the lens is darkened by limiting beliefs, everything feels heavy and hostile. If it is cleaned of judgments and old fears, reality becomes clearer and gentler. I choose, day by day, which lens I use. Even when I forget this, reality reminds me through consequences. For a long time, I believed that others created my reality: teachers, family, friends, society. I blamed circumstances and felt small in front of them. But over time, I understood that my reactions are the true place of power. Two people can live through the same situation and walk away with completely different realities. That is because reality is not only what happens, but what that event means to me. When I fail, I have a choice. I can see failure as proof that I am not good enough, or as a lesson that brings me closer to who I want to become. In the first case, my reality becomes one of fear and blockage. In the second, it becomes one of growth. The facts remain the same, but the story I tell myself changes everything. I am the author of that story. My thoughts are not just passing ideas, they are seeds. What I think consistently begins to take shape in my attitudes, my decisions, and over time, in my life. If I constantly tell myself that I cannot, I will find evidence that I cannot. If I tell myself that I can learn, I will notice opportunities. My reality responds to my attention, exactly like an echo. My emotions also play an important role. When I ignore or reject them, they manifest chaotically and color my reality in unclear ways. When I listen to them and accept them, they become guides. I understand that fear is not an enemy, but a signal. Joy is not an accident, but the result of alignment between who I am and what I do. Through this understanding, my reality becomes more coherent. The words I use about myself are extremely powerful. If I define myself by my mistakes, my reality will revolve around them. If I define myself by my potential, my reality will open up. I choose whether I see myself as a victim of circumstances or as an active participant in my own life. This choice, repeated daily, builds my inner world. My relationships are a clear mirror of the reality I create. The way I treat others reflects the way I treat myself. When I offer respect, I receive respect. When I offer distrust, I encounter resistance. It is not a perfect rule, but it is a pattern I recognize more and more often. Through every interaction, I confirm or reshape my beliefs about the world. There are moments when reality feels harsh and unfair. In those moments, the temptation to give up the idea that I create my reality is strong. Still, even then, I have the power to choose meaning. I can choose to ask, what can I learn from this? Or how can I move forward? These questions do not change the past, but they change the direction of the future. I have come to understand that creating reality does not mean controlling everything, but collaborating with life. It is a continuous dialogue between the inner and the outer. I offer intention, attention, and action, and life responds with experiences. Sometimes the response is exactly what I hoped for. Other times it is different. But every time, it is an opportunity to know myself better. In the end, when I say that I create reality, I do not say that I am the only factor. I say that I am an essential one. Through my thoughts, my choices, and the courage to take responsibility, I give shape to my world. Reality is not something fixed, but a living process, and I am part of it. Every day, with every step, I continue to create it.